today is not quite a podcast because I've been left all by myself, by my guys, to go and look for some bread. However, today we are here to talk about the almighty abortion, a topic that we started discussing a while back. We want to revisit it. This time we are looking at the nuances that come with abortion as a skill, the kind of real life stories that we have as health workers dealing with patients who come to see us with abortion, and the dilemmas we face. Without talking too much, let's go right into it. For those who haven't seen the first video, let me give you a recap of what abortion is. Abortion is when in Ghana a pregnant woman who has been pregnant for 28 weeks and less, by one means or the other, expels her baby before that time. So we are looking at from day 0 to 28 weeks, where the fetus becomes viable according to the definition in Ghana. So if you are pregnant and for some reason, whether you by sake of illness, whether it's unknown, or whether you yourself decide to take it out before that time, we medical people classify it as an abortion. Now, having said that, the law declares it illegal generally, but makes provision for where it can be conducted legally, and we've discussed that. So I'll link that video after this for you to go and take a look or listen to it. So the dilemma that we are facing as health workers is when culturally and morally our religious rights, our religious doctrines see abortion to be a criminal offense, in the sense that once the lady is pregnant, her baby or the fetus in her is an alive baby, and so if you tamper with the pregnancy intentionally, then you are killing a human being. And so most religions, if not all, frown on abortion. And the medical side of things too, would explain that abortion in itself can happen by itself. So if you are saying abortion is bad, when those people go into trouble, when nature takes its course through an infection or any other means, are we supposed to leave them to bleed out and die? The other argument you can make for the medical side is that those who have decided to do abortions have considered it seriously, have thought through it, have decided, have spoke to people who may have encouraged them to keep it, and have still decided to come forward and tell you, because it's frowned upon as it is. So when the person has gathered the courage to come to you, that person would by all means, one way or the other, go ahead, because in as much as abortion is frowned upon, teenage pregnancy, pregnancy out of wedlock, and all those things are also frowned upon. And so if she comes and takes care of it, then nobody will be able to frown upon her pregnancy, because they may have taken care of it. So if you, a health professional, that the law gives the mandate to take care of these people, push them away in the name of religion and morals and traditions, and they go into the hands of the quack or unqualified or unprofessionals, and they have serious complications with their lives on the line, the case will rebound to you, to come back to you in the hospital, for you to now struggle to keep the mother alive. So it's a huge thing for Christians, Muslims, traditionalists, whose religious teachings are against a thing like abortion, and then they have to take a professional decision to either do it because of what I just explained in order to save the woman's life, or send them away. So we'll look at a few scenarios where the religious side of the argument makes it very difficult for people. I had this case of a lady whose husband was dead. I mean, she came to me for an abortion at 6 months. 6 months is 26 weeks. So I was taken aback. I'm like, how do you wait for that long, even if you want to take care of it? So I refused doing it. So I told her to go and see another doctor. Then she circled back to a senior nurse at the family planning unit, and she called me and she said the woman has something to tell me. So this is the scenario. Her husband had died, let's say 6 months. No, let's say the husband had died, let's say 4 months ago. I don't really remember, so I'm trying to print the scenario out so that we can all go through it. 4 months ago, her husband died. She's 6 months pregnant. Okay. She's pregnant with a married man who doesn't want anything to do with the pregnancy. So because of that, she herself doesn't want the pregnancy. So now the situation is that the man who impregnated wants nothing to do with the pregnancy, or for that matter the child. She herself, because of her husband's family members, what they would say, because she's pregnant longer than her husband died. That one, and the society in general also frowns upon her action. So she has to deal with the family members of her late husband. Societal pressure. When I say societal pressure, involves the church and all other, neighborhood, compound house living and all those things. And on top of that, she has to deal with the child. A child. So as a health professional who has been presented with this dilemma, let's say you are a pastor or an elder, and you are an obstetrician at the same time, and you are faced with very selfish adults people who just think about having sex, and without thinking about the consequences of what may come out of, because as far as we are concerned, morally it's wrong. First of all, two married people, even though once your husband is there, you are still married to two married people having sexual contact, because it is the same people who found on the abortion. That's why I'm taking it from that. Okay, they would. Okay, so let me argue from the medical side. You do not think about the consequences of your actions, forgetting all these different variables and pressures out there preventing you from doing this, and you went ahead and did it. And now that there's a pregnancy, you bring it to the professional to do. And the professional, if he does it, then he's encouraging something that's something that is not culturally or religiously right, and they also have to deal with it. So in this case, if you wear the professional hat or cap, you would do it for the woman. You do it for the woman purposefully, because I'll tell you what I did. Purposefully because, number one, this woman can go and take any abortion medication and die, or be brought to you almost dead. So you who are sworn an oath of saving life, causing no harm, you are supposed to safeguard her life, do it safely for her, so that she can go back and be with her family. Because according to our medical teachings, the baby is not viable, it's not yet a living thing. And they are saying it's not yet viable. Let me explain that bit. Because this baby at 26 weeks, when it comes out of the mother, by any other means apart from the elective abortion, where somebody comes in to say, I don't want the baby. If maybe the mother has an infection and she aborts spontaneously, or nothing, maybe she goes on a rough road and aborts, this baby, because of our medical standards, will not survive outside the mother. Okay, so if the baby may not survive outside the mother, how then do we classify this as a living, viable baby? Because nobody who comes out of their mother after a full pregnancy needs the mother anymore. Maybe you need the mother for breast milk. But quite apart from that, you don't need the mother to depend on the mother, because in that state, they feed off the mother's food they eat, feed off the water they drink, and then when they are done, they squeeze through the mother. Everything the mother does for them. So the medical argument is that at that level they are not viable. So it's okay to, if they don't want it, handle it for them. And the religious people too will say that, well, yeah, the fact that you have done the wrong thing does not mean you should go ahead and commit further sins. You understand? That's the other side of the religious argument. That's fair enough. You did all what you did, which is wrong. At that point, you have committed adultery, you have done what you have to do, and you are pregnant. That's one level of sin. Now, I don't know whoever did that selfishly, thinking about what they will get out of the pleasure they will get out of the sex. Now puts you, the health professional, at risk of committing another sin by helping her to get abortion. She herself also commits another sin. So people in strong religious backgrounds who also are very good doctors face this problem, and everybody handles it differently. One way is good. The Christian Medical Fellowship taught us to refer the case to the next doctor. And I have an issue with that. So even though you will not do it yourself, professionally you are not also you don't do any good by also sending the woman who you are referring the case to another doctor so she can sin, she can commit the sin. Haven't you contributed to the sin? You have, because you let her there. Or does it mean that you don't care if you lead your neighbor into temptations? So it's a really difficult place to be. For instance, if we had a professor in school said, when you invite him to come and talk about abortion in church or any circles, he won't come because the religious stance will make you look evil. But the truth of the fact is, when it comes to abortion, whether we encourage it or not, people still go ahead and do it, and you would rather want them to do it professionally and be safe than pushing them away and then they coming back with all sorts and forms of complications which you have to deal with. I have seen somebody who had renal failure because she committed illegal abortion and died. So what did I do for the woman? I sat down and took a deep breath And first of all, I asked her, why did she keep this long? If she knew all this, why did she keep this long? Why would she come when the baby is, it's just a clot of blood, and handle it? Then she kept on begging. Before I continue, I want you to subscribe, like, and put a comment of what you think I did before I say it. Anyways, so I thought about this child that's coming into the world. If I refuse and the woman accepts not to abort or do anything, what world am I introducing? Am I helping this child to come into? I mean, that sounds like playing God, but yes, that's what I did. Your mother wants nothing to do with your family. Your father wants nothing to do with you. No family. And if this man wants nothing to do with the child and the baby, and the woman goes ahead and has the baby, yes, she has the baby, who's going to take care of her? Because she didn't look like somebody who was maybe the in-laws who may support her will also desert her. She will go into it. So I looked at the situation carefully and decided I would help her to abort the pregnancy. And because of that, we were able to at least save the woman's life. She went home. Her sins are her sins. I did my professional duty. That is my stance too. That I think those who need the care must get the care. Because with the little experience I had in medical school, we saw a lot of deaths through abortion. If every abortion is done professionally in a hospital as prescribed by the law, I am very sure most people will still stay alive. Then there's a conversation of rights. There's a quick one before wrapping up. Who has the right to decide whether to abort a baby or keep? Is it the man? Is it the woman? Is it both of them? There's one argument on the female side that it's her body. Her body, she is the one whose body is going to change. She's the one who is going to be vomiting, who's going to stand a chance of having hypertensive, related pregnancy and dying as she has a lot of risk in that pregnancy. So and that is how where the law favors. And so she has the final say as to whether she wants to have an abortion or she doesn't. Then there's another argument that the woman did not get pregnant alone. She alone cannot go to bed and wake up pregnant. And so the husband or the partner or whoever got her pregnant must have a say. So for instance, in that case, if you walk to the hospital or something to commit, then you have to ask the consent of the man. But currently, as the law stands, the woman has the unilateral right to decide. So the question that comes usually from the men's side is, if you have the right to decide to bring a child to this world, which is my child, against my will, then when the baby comes out or when the child comes out, I shouldn't be forced by law to take care of the child, because I already said you shouldn't have to. And the decision did not consider what I want. Then the female side will say, when you were having sex and enjoying yourself, didn't you know there will be consequences? It's possible you get me pregnant and I may, decide to keep it. And the men will say, we had a social contract of having sexual intercourse to enjoy ourselves. We did not talk about making babies. as funny as it sounds, if you look at it, there's merit to it. If you meet a lady, you don't say, let's go and make babies. So if there's a baby involved, then we should sit and decide. And when we decided, the law backs you to decide. So if it has backed you to decide, why am I responsible for your decision? That's the question. That's the basic question. If they both agree not to keep it fine, they both agree to expel it or abort it, fine. But while there's no agreement, then I'll tell you what I think after you have told a friend about our channel and commented what you think I'm going to say. Yes, so the question is, why doesn't the law consider the man's view as well, even though it's not their body? As the baby comes out of the woman, it's their pocket, and it's their blood, sweat, and tears to take care of the whole of the child, even if not the mother. So the law actually states that the woman should decide. The woman should have the final say whether to keep or not the baby. Nobody should ask. So if you come to me or any other doctor, they are not going to ask, have you told your husband? Maybe culturally, but even that, no. If it's a minor, the parents have to consent. They have to know. So if somebody sneaks to your consulting child in school, does something, and you don't verify to tell them, the parents, to come in, and maybe it's a boyfriend or somebody comes and they stand in and you get into trouble with that case, you will be very sorry. So always with minors, look for consent. I think that when they don't agree, and that's what we are ending the video on this note. When two people do not agree, the law should force them to sit down, even if he has to go to court. So the court will sit down and pronounce, make a pronouncement that in this case, having listened to you and to you, this is what we think. Before the abortion takes place, it should be done. Because you cannot take a decision for somebody. Okay, and then there's a situation where the lady says, I don't want it, and the man says, I want you to keep it. You can also take that decision for her to suffer the consequences of the pregnancy to birth. So, I mean, these are some of the loopholes. So I think that they should make the law that, look, if the two of you don't agree, sit down, have a conversation. If there's still no agreement, come to court or something, and let the courts decide for you. See, the two of you cannot decide, make a pronouncement, and then you can go ahead and obey the law court's directive and come back and show proof that this is what we did. Having said that, I don't know what you think about everything that I've discussed with you. Go into the comments, put your ideas and your thoughts over there, and let's continue over there. This brings us to the end of this episode. I'll come back to you with another. This brings us to the end of this episode. I'll come back to you with another very controversial topic. Expect it very soon. Bye bye.